What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Drums and Drams. My name's Cameron, and today we are live. We are doing something a little bit different here, and that is a live mystery whiskey blind review. So you guys have seen on the channel over the last months that I like to pull out the blind sample box. For Patreon members, I do single barrels throughout the year, and for the public, I'm reviewing 2025 batched products or similar things like Michter's 10 bourbon. Those are single barrels, but it's a bunch of random single barrels, and I'm not like reviewing something that was sent to me. So all of those kind of products that are most relevant to kind of the public at large go into this blind sample box, and I've been pulling them out and doing, again, fully blind reviews, nose, palate, finish, giving you my full thoughts, and then rating the whiskey out of 100, and then finding out at the end what it is, with the goal not being to guess what the whiskey is, but just doing a blind review. So I've got a lot of samples to get through by the end of the year, and I'm probably not going to get through all of them, to be honest, but I'm going to, well, at least on camera, but I am going to do my best on camera to get through as many as possible. I'll taste the other ones off camera. That way I can kind of, narrow down my list of whiskeys at the end of the year that I'm going to be tasting to try to pick out my top 25 or whatever I decide to do. So today, it's Tuesday, November 11th. I'm going to start this today, and for the next couple weeks, these will be at least happening on Tuesday and Wednesday nights, probably after video drops, like that's what happened today, 6 p.m. Eastern, dropped a video. Now it's 7 p.m. We're going to do one of these. It's going to be like a 10 to 15 minute single tasting, one pour, that's it. Give it a rating, get you guys on your way. And I'm sure these are going to get better as we go. But I just wanted to let you know how this is going to work. So if you see the thumbnail pop up that you saw today, which says, Mystery Whiskey 2025 Blind Review, that's what this is going to be. These are going to happen multiple times a week, and it's going to kind of differ week to week. And then at the end of that, I will change the thumbnail out for what the actual bottle was, and that's going to live as a singular bottle review. So that's a 2-minute intro spiel. It's time to get down to a review now. You guys understand how this works. Reveal cards. You'll have to sit through me trying to find the reveal card for whatever I pull out. So let's grab a random blind sample. We can go with this one, B252237. And because we are live, I can't put it on the screen for you, but what I can do is I can open up the reveal card and I can show you what it is as I go through this flight. So it is a little clunky here because I have to find the particular card for this pour. But then I'll open it up, I'll turn my head, I'll show you what's in my glass. That way it's a little bit more involved for you guys as you watch this. Color of the whiskey, it's actually got a pretty nice, fairly dark color to it. So as I open this up, I'm not looking, I promise. And I should be able to pull it out this way. Hold it straight up. Please no spoilers in the live chat right now because we are live. So this is what I'm about to take a look at and review and score. So I'll hold it up for 3, 2, 1. We are done. Let's get into this blind review. Okay, wow. Someone said that's reddish. It does have a little reddish tint to it, actually, yeah. It smells, it's funny you say reddish, then I start thinking of red fruits and things like that, but it does have an interesting kind of profile. So there's like a very strong menthol backbone to this whiskey on the nose. And some kind of like almost rye influence. It feels like there's a little citrus jumping out of the glass at me. And there's a fruit that I can't quite pin down. It's somewhere around like pear. It's kind of a lighter fruit. So you see a dark color, but you get actually a little bit of a lighter fruit note going on here. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm gonna go to the palate. I'll come back to the nose and keep digging in. Typically in these review videos, I do nose all at once, palate all at once, but I think as I do these live, I'll kind of flip back and forth. So here we go, guys. Cheers. Okay. So, kind of a heavier oak presence, heavier chocolate presence as well on the palate than I would have gotten off the nose. In some ways, this reminds me a little bit of like a Brown-Forman type profile. It just has some of those fruit notes, those kind of darker fruit notes with a tinge of that acetone that you might get on a Brown-Forman profile. It's got a little bit of that sharpness. And I think as I was on the nose, I called that almost like a citrus kind of note. As I taste it on the palate now, The citrus is morphing a little bit more into an acetone kind of thing. But actually, this is a really solid product, whatever this is. I'm gonna have to do a couple more sips. I warmed my palate up before this, as I usually do with Eagle Rare 12. So let's do one more sip of this. Yeah, it's solid. It's very solid. It lingers for a while. I think the more that I sip it, it's getting a little bit more heat to it. A little bit more cinnamon spice is starting to come out. But there's still a really great chocolate backbone. The menthol character that was on the nose, I think it's still there, but I don't pick that up as much on the palate necessarily. It's gonna be funny to do these live and see how these things turn out, you know? I mean, it's the same way on video. It's just that if I need to do multiple takes of me talking about the whiskey, I can do that before the reveal. But live, you know, it feels like the pressure's on to rate these things. All right, let me do one last sip here. I think this is like, what I really like about this whiskey, whatever this is that there's a certain kind of heaviness to it that plays along with that chocolate and that oak note that I talked about. And I think those are the centerpieces of what's going on here. There are supporting dark fruits. There is a little brighter cinnamon, citrusy, acetone kind of thing. But the crux of the whiskey is that darker, heavier profile. And I do think I really enjoy that. Because we are live, we got a second here, right? So before I rate it and do the final reveal, I'm just gonna take a little sip of the Eagle Rare 12 to reset my palate and move back into this. Oh, wow. So this whiskey, whatever this is, makes that Eagle Rare 12, which I usually like, and I know it's only 95 proof, but it feels like completely thin compared to whatever it is I'm sipping here. So let me remind you guys one more time what this is. I'll turn my head, pull the card up. Yeah, I do think I really like this, whatever this is. I'll be interested to find out what it is I'm taking a look at. So I'm gonna give this a score in the high 80s. I think that's where we're gonna land. And I'll see if I have it, if I have a score that I can put on screen for this. I'm gonna go, I don't know if my palate's just shot right now. I get nervous giving a score this high. It is a blind review, but I'm in that like 87 range. I'm in that 87 range for this. I don't know what it is. And I did eat dinner like 45 minutes ago, but my palate feels like it's pretty fresh. You know, I don't feel like it's too bogged down by anything. I'm in the 85 to 87 range. I'm gonna shoot, I think, right between that. See if I regret it. I'm gonna give this an 86 out of 100. Whatever this is, 86, I wanna retaste it after I find out. I left myself a little bit here in the sample bottle. But let's see what this is. 86 out of 100. What do we have here? There we go. All right, Old Forester President's Choice Rye. This is a very good bottle. And, you know, I think I could see this landing for somebody anywhere between that 85 to 89 range. I think this is a really great bottle. It's barrel 10, if you guys are, you know, keeping track of any of these Old Forester President's Choice Rye barrels. It's 122.2 proof. That definitely shows on the palate. It's got a lot of intensity, a lot of heat. That Brown-Forman character does come through here, but it's not super strong. Like, I did get that at first menthol note with citrus, which then morphed into acetone on the palate. And listen, frankly, I would have never called this a rye. I don't think I would have been able to tell this was a rye in a one-off tasting like this. I would have needed to have some side-by-sides to pick this out of the lineup as being a rye. And that's because, you know, it's Old Forester. It's got a lot of oak impact. It's probably a lower rye mash bill, although I guess I don't know that mash bill off the top of my head. But because of all that intense oak going on here, I really didn't pick up on the fact that it was a rye. And even though it does have those standard Brown-Forman qualities to it, of that kind of acetone distillery character, it was dialed pretty far back here, all things considered, and I think that's because it is a little bit older. It's 124 month. It's a little bit older. It's, you know, it's got so much of that oak influence. So I think the older that these Old Forester / Brown-Forman products get, the more that acetone note kind of falls out. And for me, that's when it really starts to hit its stride, when it gets a little bit less astringent on the palate, a little less sour and kind of chemical-like on the nose with that acetone thing. So, you know, Old Forester President's Choice Rye, I think it's a great bottle. Giving this an 86, to me, as I think about the price point, because I think these are like $250, maybe $300 or something like that, I think they're kind of overpriced for what they are. You know, maybe it'd be better if these are about 150, but I think that's probably a pipe dream at this point given the market. So that's the review, guys. Old Forester President's Choice Rye. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you've tried one of these bottles, whether it's the rye or the bourbon. I think the bourbons have kind of fallen in quality as we've seen a lot more of those hit the market. But the ryes were new to market this year, and so hopefully they put their best foot forward with these things. So that's going to do it, guys. Cheers. I know it's a live review. I want to keep up with the live chat, but I don't want these videos to go on too long. I want them to live as standalone. So cheers, and I'll see you guys soon here on Drums and Drams. If I can turn this thing off.